Hare Krishna. So today is the Azar month Purnima, Vamana Purnima, also known as Guru Purnima. Yesterday it was the Purnima in America, so His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj also left on this Purnima. So according to our Vaishnava tradition, for 3 days we lament and grieve and process our grief for 3 days. Then we'll have Smriti Sabha memorial service. Because right now we're just processing all our grief, our hearts are burning. So 3 days from now we'll speak, but still, with the permission of the Vaishnavas, I'd like to say a few things about His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, since he was one of the great Maha-pillars of our Krishna consciousness movement. So we've heard also, previously we had heard that no one was allowed to see Maharaj. I don't have it confirmed, but on social media it says, I have a dear friend in Alachua named Pran Govinda. I never realized he's Bhakti Charu Maharaj's nephew. So word is going around that Pran Govinda Prabhu was able to be there with Maharaj and to chant, and very amazing that especially in America the hospital allowed him to wear his Brahman thread and his Kanti Mala. Generally they're very strict in America, but I gotten away with it in India, but in foreign countries it's very strict. And Pran Govinda says that while he was chanting and reading to Maharaj, it appeared that Maharaj was responding to his reading. He was there when Maharaj left this world. So we'll speak more about him in 3 days from now, but since he's such, especially for our Vrindavan temple, he's a very special devotee. Because we'll hear, I wasn't here when Prabhupada left this world, but those devotees who were there will tell us with great love and affection and care, Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj attended to Srila Prabhupada in his last days. We can only imagine for that service Prabhupada was also must have been also there for attending to Bhakti Charu in his last days. From Braha Purana we understand the Lord says that if somebody is unable to remember me at the time of death due to some bodily disturbance, I remember my devotee and take him with me. Anyway, we're deeply indebted to Maharaj. He was a young, Western-educated Bengali boy. He had a lucrative future in front of him, but he got one of Prabhupada's books, Nectar of Devotion. And he understood who Srila Prabhupada was and gave up his career and everything and surrendered to Prabhupada, 1977. And very quickly he got first and second initiation. And even finally, in the end, Prabhupada gave him sannyas in 1977. As far as I know, that's the last sannyas that Prabhupada gave in his manifest pastimes. Somebody questioned Prabhupada, how can you give sannyas so easily? He's a new man. And Prabhupada said, from his birth, he's more advanced than you are. So we can understand what a special soul. I was just reading yesterday, Hari Sori was describing in his book, Transcendental Diary, they were in Hyderabad, the opening of Hyderabad temple. So they arranged interview with the press. So many press reporters came. And Prabhupada preached very heavily about Bhagavad-Gita and the culture of India and how this temple was there to present the culture of India, the real culture of India, and the importance of this human form of life. And then instead of letting the reporters ask questions, Prabhupada began to ask them questions. Said, why you're not taking this? This Bhagavad Gita is yours. And they were saying, well, we're busy in our service, but your service is your representative of the newspaper. You're to present news. Here is the real news. They argued in so many ways. The Prabhupada said, why don't you take it? You take it. First you take it, and you present it. Like that. So we can't imagine the joy that Prabhupada had, that here was a young, very educated, very cultured Bengali young man who took up Krishna consciousness. This was a joy for Srila Prabhupada. This is one of Prabhupada's jewels. He must have been so happy that somebody realized that what India has. Everybody's running to the West trying to get money, but they don't realize they left the most valuable thing behind, Bhagavad-Gita, Sri Vrindavan Dham, Sri Mayapur Dham. So, all I can say is I think my personal experience of Bhakti True Maharaj, he was a perfect gentleman. And Prabhupada was one asked, how do you recognize a devotee? He's a perfect gentleman. So he was a real Vaishnava. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that this world is not a fit place for a gentleman. So seeing such a wonderful gentleman in this nasty world, Krishna has taken him back to the spiritual world. Hare Krishna. In a couple of days, I guess on Tuesday, we'll be able to speak, and now it's too painful. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadandigam Adadanastranandandai Ridam Yache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padambujo Dulisyam Janma Janmani Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Panchakalpatrubhasta Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patidanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. I forgot one thing. We have here the GBC announcement. I thought it was very nice. We should read that before we discuss about Sanatana Goswami. Dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. It is with overwhelming heartache that we announce to you the departure of our beloved God-brother and dearmost servant of Srila Prabhupada, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami. From his earliest days as a young devotee, Maharaj had the extraordinary privilege of serving as one of Srila Prabhupada's confidential personal servants. And ever since, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj's life has been an offering of love at the lotus feet of his spiritual master. Indeed, there was not a service that Maharaj did not perform for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. As instructed in their very first meeting, Maharaj translated every one of Prabhupada's written works into Bengali, the language of Srila Prabhupada's own birth. To fulfill this cherished order, Maharaj took on years of austerity, rising at midnight to carefully translate his spiritual master's divine words. Maharaj served as one of the most active members of the GBC body. He was initiating spiritual master with many dedicated disciples all over the world, and he shared Krishna consciousness in every segment of society, from simple Bangladeshi villages to the British Parliament. Maharaj encouraged and advised ISKCON leaders in management and spiritual topics. He saved more than one ISKCON project in times of despair and did his utmost to contribute to the welfare of the most vulnerable members of society. One of Maharaj's unique contributions was the Abhay Charan television series that brought the glorious life and pastimes of Srila Prabhupada to the world on an unprecedented scale. And most recently, Maharaj has again heightened the glory of his spiritual master by building a marvelous temple and devotee community in the holy city of Ujjain. Maharaj's voice, sweeter than honey, has immortalized many of our Acharya's prayers, and most famously Maharaj's heartfelt rendition of the Gopis' song of separation from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam rings in our ears. Despite his position and many qualifications, both material and spiritual, Maharaj was a humble and loving gentleman who took pleasure in serving devotees. Indeed, one of Maharaj's favorite pastimes was to personally cook and serve prasadam for the devotees. As in all aspects of his service and gentle cultured nature, Maharaj's cooking was highly refined and infused with bhakti. There are no words that provide solace when facing separation from such a glorious Vaishnava, but we can take some comfort in the fact that His Holiness Bhakti True Maharaj lived constantly in meditation and how to serve Srila Prabhupada in his mission. Undoubtedly, he now contributes that service under the direction of His divine grace. Let us offer true homage to Maharaj by continuing his legacy of service in our own lives. Let us commit ourselves, mind, body, and words, and soul to the service of Srila Prabhupada, following in the footsteps of his beloved servant, His Holiness Bhakti Charuswami. One of Maharaj's most cherished instructions from His divine grace was, "Your love for me will show by how you cooperate after I am gone." Now in Maharaj's absence, we are reminded to take that instruction to heart and reaffirm our dedication to ISKCON and to each other. We also commit ourselves as Maharaj's servants to assist and care for his loving disciples in his absence. It was very important to Maharaj that we operate as one family in Srila Prabhupada's service. And we remind you today that although Maharaj is no longer physically present, you are protected by the shelter of many devotees who are ready to offer you the support you may require at this difficult time and in the future. As Maharaj often glorified Srila Prabhupada with his beautiful words of the gopis, let us also remember Maharaj as the most munificent Vaishnava who will eternally inspire the followers of Srila Prabhupada to share the glories of Lord Krishna. Tava katamritam tapta jivanam kaviviriditam kalmasapaham Sravana mangalam srimadatatam bhuvi grananti je buridajana. The nectar of your words and the descriptions of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in the material world. These narrations, transmitted by learned sages, eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestow all good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations, broadcast all over the world, are filled with spiritual power. Certainly those who spread the message of Godhead are most munificent. His Holiness Bhakti Charuswami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Your servants, Ramai Swami, Bhakti Chaitanya Swami, Bhanu Swami, GBC Executive Committee. So there's a very beautiful pranam mantra for Sri Sanatana Goswami written by Srila Bhagavad Das Goswami in his Vilapa Kusmanjali. Vairaga Yuga Bhakti Rasam Prayatnaya Payam Mam Anabipsamandam Kripambudriye Paraduka Duki Sanatanam Tam Prabhum Ashrayami. Vairaga Yuga Bhakti Rasam. Our Param Gurudev Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur translates ras as very tasty thing. Very tasty thing. Just like in our Sadhu Samaj, we never say, pass the salt please. We say Ram Ras, give the Ram Ras. Mahaprasad means rice. And sweet rice means paramana, supreme rice. We have our own language in the society of sadhus. So they say ras, tasty thing. And we know that with a little salt then everything becomes very tasty. So we call Ram Ras. So Viraga Yuga Bhakti Rasam. That ras of bhakti, it inspires vairaga. We're not interested in ordinary vairagya. Ordinary vairagya does not inspire bhakti, but bhakti inspires vairagya. So vairagya yuga bhakti rasam apaya mam anabipsamam dam. Apaya mam, I didn't want to take it. Abipsamam dam, I was in the darkest of ignorance. I didn't want to taste that very sweet bhakti rasam. That sweet thing we didn't want to taste. Prayatnayar, but by force, the Sanatana Goswami has forced me to taste this very sweet thing. Sanatanam what is that? Vairaga Yuga Bhakti Rasam Prayatnaya Payamam Anabipsamam Kripambudirya Paraduka Duki. He's a great ocean of mercy. And he's only unhappy to see other people unhappy. Paraduka Duki. Sanatanam Tam Prabhum. He's my Prabhu, Ashrayami, and my only shelter. This is the pranam mantra of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami in his Vilapa Kutsmanjali. And in the Gauragana Deshadipika we find that Sanatana Goswami is a combined incarnation. He's both Rati Manjari and Lavanga Manjari. He's one of the Manjaris. And also he's, in this 4 Kumaras, he's Sanatan Kumar. These all things are found in Gauraganadesha Deepika. The ancestors of Sanatana Goswami, Rupa, Jiva, also Anupam, we trace back to, there was a family of Saraswat Brahmins, very high-class Saraswat Brahmins, in the state of Karnataka. Amongst them there was one Sarvagya Jagat Guru. He was known as Sarvagya Jagat Guru. He was very prominent. In fact, he became the king of that place. And Sarvagya Jagat Guru, he had one son named Aniruddha. And Aniruddha had 2 sons, Rupeshwar and Harihar. Harihar was the younger son, but he kicked his older brother out and took over the kingdom, so Rupeshwar left that country, established himself in another country. Later his descendants, they moved till finally they reached to Naihati, on the banks of the Ganga. From there, one member of their family moved to Jessore in Bangladesh. So not exactly in Jessore, somewhere outside of Jessore, nobody knows the actual place. But somebody donated some land just outside of Jessore, so we've made a Rup Sanatan Smriti Tirth there. It's a very amazing place. I've been there, you're driving through the jungles, and all you see is banana trees and rice fields, and then suddenly it's completely different because it's close to the Bengal border, because mostly Jessore and Bangladesh is all Muslim. But all of a sudden, as you get close to the Rup Sanatan Smriti Tirth, all the people on the road, as soon as they see that you're a Vaishnava, they see your tilak, then everybody else, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And suddenly, you just see flat rice fields and banana trees and big other types of trees, those famous Bengali Kadamba trees. Suddenly, over the tops of those trees, you see this huge dome. It stands out like anything. Rup Sanatan Smriti Tirth. Very lovely place. So in this place, Srila Sanatana Goswami was born in 1488. Later, the Bengal capital was changed to just near Ramakeli, a place called Gaud. In fact, we're called Gaudiya Vaishnavas because this place was known as Gaudadesh. So we're Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So the family eventually moved to Ramakeli. And I've been to that place. Gaud is a very beautiful place. So beautiful, green, emerald green, everything. And we saw the ruins of everything. We just imagine when the Nawab Hussain Shah was running and everything was beautiful, gardens were there and other things. Beautiful place. So it's a very flat place, so kings, they need somehow to see if somebody's attacking. Ordinarily, you go to Jaipur, you can see there's a big fort on top of the hill where they can see all around if anybody's attacking Jaipur. But Bengal, and Gaudadesh especially, is very flat. So Nawab Hussain Shah, he wanted a lookout tower to be built. So he asked one of his ministers to build a lookout tower. So that minister knew that Sanatana Goswami is very, very intelligent. He'll know how to build it. So he engaged Sanatana Goswami in building this tower. We saw that tower. One time we went on safari with Jayapataka Maharaj and all the devotees. And we went to that place. Because nowadays it used to be able to go inside and go upstairs and look around. Now they've barred it all up. So even after 500 years it's still standing. He built it so nicely. So when the minister inaugurated the tower, Nawab Hussain Shah said, "Who built this?" The minister said, "I did." He said, "You don't have enough brains." So then he told it was Sanatana Goswami, who at that time his name was Santosh, I believe. The Rupa and Sanatana was Amar and Santosh, and other brother, youngest brother, was Sri Ballabh, who later became Anupam. So then, the Nawab, he wanted Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. These two brothers are very intelligent. He wanted them in his government. Now that time, Hindu society was a little rigid. If a Brahmin was serving under a Muslim, then he lost his caste completely. So they were afraid. But on the other hand, if they don't submit, they'll lose their heads. So he made them an offer they couldn't refuse. And Sanatana Goswami became the prime minister. He was so intelligent that when Avamisesha made him the prime minister in his kingdom and gave him a name, Sakar Malik, and he gave Rupa Goswami the treasury. He made him Dabir Khas. One thing I forgot to mention is when they established their place in Ramakeli, it was a very beautiful place. And Sanatana and Rupa and all of them from very young childhood, they manifested their natural attraction for Krishna Bhakti. There's even their family deities. We all know this is not Goswami. We're living here in Vrindavan. We know that this Madan Mohan temple is the temple of Sanatana Goswami. What you may not know is that the family deities of Rup Sanatan and Balav, Sri Balav, were Madan Mohan. And amazingly, this beautiful temple that Bhakti Charu Maharaj has built in Ujjain, the deities are Madan Mohan. He's disappeared on the same day as Sanatana Goswami, and same deities were Madan Mohan. In fact, the beautiful forests all around, there are so many kadamba trees and tamal trees and so many different types of trees like this Keli Kadam. So they used to name all the forests, Talavan, Mahavan, Gokul, Bandirvan. Even in their childish, they had two ponds there, they called them Radhakund and Shamakund. Even in their childhood play, they were very much attracted to Krishna consciousness. So despite the fact that they took service under the Nawab Hussain Shah, still, because they were great learning, many scholars and Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavas, they don't care about these external things. So they're rejected from ordinary Brahmin society. Many Vaishnava scholars came to study with them, and they also studied under Vidya Vasishpati, who was the brother of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and he spent many a time in Ramakeli. From many devotees, they heard about the pastimes of Mahaprabhu in Navadvip, and they wrote many letters to them, letters to Mahaprabhu, but they received no reply. Except one day, Sanatana Goswami, one glowing young Brahmin came to his house and presented him a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam and told him, study this book, you will achieve all perfection from this book. And mysteriously that young Brahmin disappeared. Most people believe that was Krishna himself came in the disguise of a young Brahmin and gave him that Srimad Bhagavatam. And he began to study in earnest, giving aside all other scriptures. He understood Srimad Bhagavatam was the supreme scripture that described the supreme dharma, Krishna Bhakti. Finally, they received a letter from Mahaprabhu, a very mysterious letter from Mahaprabhu. He simply quoted an example from Shastra that if a woman has a lover besides her husband, she does her work very nicely so that she may not be detected. But always within her heart, she's remembering her lover and when will they meet? When will they be able to meet again? So Rupa and Sanatan, they understood this meant they should continue in the government service, but always maintain their Krishna consciousness within their hearts. Finally, Mahaprabhu decided to go to Vrindavan, but it's very interesting. Instead of going west, because from Puri, Vrindavan is west, he went north. He came to Bengal, he came to Navadvip. We can't imagine the joy of the residents of Navadvip. We can't imagine the joy of Sachimata serving again her son Nimai and cooking for him. And eventually they went farther north, they went to Ramakeli. And all along the way, thousands of people gathered. Mahaprabhu was chanting, lost in ecstasy, and thousands of people were following, and they were following along. And Mahaprabhu headed towards Ramakeli, which was near the kingdom of God. So, of course, kings, they always have their spies. So the king told his minister Nawab told his minister that there's some saint moving along the road with thousands of people. He must be some very special prophet. So the minister, being a Hindu, he said, well, no, he's just a Vaishnava sannyasi with 3 or 4 followers. What are you talking? My men have told me thousands of people, he doesn't give them anything, he doesn't give them any charity either, and they're still following him. He must be something special. So he asked Rupa Goswami, his prime minister. And Rupa Goswami said, you ask your own heart, who is this? And I said, I think he must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Huh? The same Allah that we call Allah, the same you call Bhagwan. So you yourself are the witness, Rupa told him. So we saw that tree, there's a tamal tree there where Mahaprabhu was sitting, and Rupa and Sanatan, they felt themselves very fallen because they had taken service under the Muslim kings, and they felt themselves the most fallen and most degraded. So from a distance, underneath that tamal tree is still there, you can visit. Taking straw between their teeth, they fell on the ground and offered obeisances. Nityananda Prabhu pointed out to Mahaprabhu that there's Rupa and Sanatan. And Mahaprabhu told the devotees, bring them here. He said, why are you staying far? Huh? Don't you realize I have only come here because of you? Everyone thought Mahaprabhu was going to Vrindavan, but his real purpose was to go and get Rupa and Sanatan and Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami, some people say he was born in that time, some people he wasn't. There's controversy. And he again gave them the same instruction to study Srimad Bhagavatam and somehow get free from the service and come to Vrindavan and reveal all the holy places of Vrindavan and write literature describing the path of bhakti. So somehow Rupa Goswami, he managed to retire and get away, and he headed toward Vrindavan. But Sanatana Goswami was the prime minister. It wasn't so easy to get out of his service. But being inspired by Mahaprabhu, he decided to deeply study Srimad Bhagavatam. So he began sending sick notes to the Nawab that I'm sick, I can't attend my duties. Nawab sent his doctor, his own personal physician, and he reported back to the Nawab that he's not sick at all. He's sitting with all these Brahmins and studying these Hindu scriptures. So the Nawab came personally to the house, dashed into the house with his shoes on. The Hindus, they don't wear their shoes in the house. He came with his curly shoes into the house. What is going on? Huh? You're sending sick notes. My own servant, own physician has come and told you're just sitting here with some Brahmins and studying some Hindu scriptures. He says, I have to go to Utkal, Orissa, and attack there and expand my kingdom, so I need you to watch over the kingdom while I'm gone. And Sanatana Goswami was thinking, just see how fallen I am. I'm serving such a person who's going to give pain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He said, I resign. He said, you can't resign, you're arrested. So he threw him in jail. Of course we saw that wasn't an ordinary jail. That jail is still there, it was a treasury house. We saw where he kept Sanatana Goswami, and he took off for his campaign in Orissa. So Sanatana Goswami, he wasn't prime minister for nothing, he was very intelligent. So he began to preach to the jailkeeper. He said, you are a very great saint. Now can we imagine that a jailkeeper is a saint? He said, you know all the scriptures. Now jailkeepers, they don't generally. But he had Sanatana Goswami, pure devotees, sometimes have to flatter materialistic persons in this way, Prabhupada explains. If you give liberation to the living entity, you get so much pious credits, Allah will be pleased with you. Actually, I want to go away and make my pilgrimage to Mecca. If somehow or other you'll get me free, if you release me. Because he knew Rupa Goswami had sent a note that I have 10,000 gold coins with the merchant in town. So Sanatana Goswami told the jailkeepers, I'll give you 5,000 gold coins. Now in India we don't like to speak straight. Actually he thinks it's not enough, but he doesn't want to say that. So he says it in a different way. We always speak like this in India. We never speak straight. He said, well, what is the use of your 5,000 gold coins? If when the Nawab finds out that I set you free, then he'll cut my head off. What will be the use of your gold coins? You just tell him that you took me to pass stool on the bank of the Ganga and I jumped in with my chains and was washed away, and I'll give you 7,000 gold coins. All right, meet you at 3:30. So he set Sanatana Goswami free. He got his gold coin. Sanatana Goswami got his servant Ishan. He said, Ishan, don't take anything with you. Let's go. And they went by the back roads, but Ishan was worried, so he took 8 gold coins with him. So they went by all the back roads, this way and that way, this way and that way. Along the way, since they didn't want to go by the regular road, they got into the mountainous area where it was very difficult to find the way. And there was an innkeeper sitting there, and he had his astrologer. And he said he saw 2 people coming. The astrologer, he did his whatever he did. And he said, one of these men is carrying 8 pieces of gold, 8 gold coins. So when they arrived, then they said, we're just mendicants, we have nothing, somehow we're lost in the forest. You please give us place to stay. You please get us through the forest. And the innkeeper said, yes, 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 please come. My house is your house. You don't worry about a thing. You take your shower. We'll cook for you, nice lunch for you. Don't worry about a thing. We'll get you through the forest. So while Sanatana was taking his meal, they made a nice opulent meal. Sanatana Goswami wasn't Prime Minister for nothing. He understood Ati Bhakti Churi Lakshan. Too much devotion is sign of a thief. He said, why this innkeeper is treating us so nicely? Must be something up. He said, Ishan, you have some money with you? Ishan, you have some money with you? Well, I brought 7 gold coins. They give them to me. So he gave 7 gold coins to Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami went to the innkeeper. He threw the coins on the table. Innkeeper over there was sharpening his knife. And then he threw the coins on the table. He said, here, you take these coins, but somehow get us through the forest. And the innkeeper said, it's very good that you have given these coins. You saved me from a sinful act. My astrologer already told you had 8 gold coins. So I fed you nicely so you would sleep very nicely. During your sleep I was going to slit your throats and rob you. But since you saved me from this sinful act, you please take your coins back. I will get through the... He said, no, if you don't kill us, somebody else will kill us. You keep the coins, you get us through the forest. So then he took them through the forest, showed him the path, how to get on the way to Vrindavan. And then he told Ishan, you have 1 more coin? Yep. He said, you take that coin and go home. Meanwhile, he ran into Srikant, his brother-in-law, or some relative, I can't remember just now. And he saw Sanatana's destitute condition. He gave him a nice blanket, because he was a merchant selling blankets, so he gave him a nice blanket. He continued on until he reached Kashi. In Kashi, he heard that Mahaprabhu had arrived in Kashi. Mahaprabhu had already been to Vrindavan and was returning. And he heard that he was staying at the house of Chandrasekhar, so he went and sat outside the house of Chandrasekhar Acharya. So Mahaprabhu told Chandrasekhar, there's a great Vaishnava sitting outside, you bring him inside. And Chandrasekhar went outside, he looked all around, he saw there was some Muslim mendicant there, he could tell he was Muslim, he had a nice beard like this. Because whatever the Hindus do, the Muslims do the opposite. If Hindu will grow a Sikha, the Muslim will grow his beard like this. If Hindu shoes will curve like this, then Muslim shoes will curve like this. If Hindu will rub his face in the morning like this, then Muslim will rub his face in the morning. So he saw this guy with beard and everything, and he said, there's just no Vaishnava is there? He said, no, go and see. And again went, he said, there's some mendicant, it looks like a Muslim. He said, then you bring that mendicant here. And meanwhile, because Sanatana Goswami had traveled to the forest and wasn't eating properly, he had sores all over his body. And eczema. So when the Chandrasekhar brought Sanatana Goswami into the house, immediately Mahaprabhu embraced him. And he said, my Lord, please don't touch me. There's pus and blood is getting on your body. He said, no, I'm touching you because by touching the bodies of the pure devotees, one becomes purified. Can we go over a little bit today? So, in this way, Mahaprabhu accepted Sanatana Goswami. Then he told him, you go take your lunch with Tapan Mishra and get yourself shaved up. You shouldn't be keeping beard and long hair. So again, it's become fashionable, especially among the young Kirtaniyas. But Mahaprabhu said, you shave off this beard and this long hair. So then he came back, but Mahaprabhu was looking at him very strange look. Because here is he presenting himself as a beggar, because he went to Tapan Mishra, he got shaved up, then he just got a piece of torn cloth, and we see how the Goswamis used to dress, just like that. One uttariya and this outer cloth. But he was keeping this nice blanket. So Sanatana Goswami couldn't understand, seeing the eyes of Mahaprabhu looking on his blanket. So he went to the bank of the Ganga. There was one poor Brahmin there with a torn quilt. He said, please give me the torn quilt, I'll give you this blanket. He said, you appear to be a respectable gentleman. Why are you joking with me like this? Why are you teasing me? He said, no, I'm serious. Give me that blanket, you give me that quilt. He said, what are you talking? Why are you appear to be a gentleman, why are you talking like this? The Sanatana Goswami forcibly dragged that torn quilt from him and gave him his opulent blanket and went back. And Mahaprabhu was very happy. He said, yes. People will laugh if you go with such a nice garment like this, begging, people will laugh. Just like Ambarish Prabhu told me, he says, I always fly business, economy class, but I see the people that I give donations to flying in first class. So, he said, yes, this is proper. Then, for many days, there's 5 chapters of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 20 to 24, 5 chapters. Sanatana Shiksha, Mahaprabhu gave instructions, every tiny detail, who's the supreme, the position of God, the position of the living entity, the position of the marginal energy, the material energy, every position of Krishna, every type of detail. 5 chapters there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sanatana Shiksha. He instructed Sanatana Goswami Dasaswamedha God in Kashi. And then he sent him on to Vrindavan. Then he came to Vrindavan and he found out that Rupa Goswami had already been to Vrindavan and Mahaprabhu has also been and left, and Rupa Goswami running behind has also gone back to Puri. So after staying in Vrindavan for some time, then Sanatana Goswami decided to go to Puri. So he again went to Puri. And again Mahaprabhu embraced him. And again he still had these sores. So it was about Rath Yatra time, so Sanatana Goswami thought within his heart, without saying to anyone, that this is an embarrassment, that all this blood and pus is coming on the body of my Lord. This is a big embarrassment for me. So at Rath Yatra time, I will throw my body underneath the Rath Yatra cart wheels and finish off this despicable body. One day, because he never entered, neither Rupa, Sanatana, anyone, they entered, Jiva never entered Puri temple. So those of us who can't go inside, we're in good company. We're Rupa, Sanatana and Jiva Goswami, Haridas Thakur. So Mahaprabhu came to visit him. He says, Sanatan, I have a lot of service to do in this world through this body. This body does not belong to you. You do not have right to take it. He never revealed to anyone what his desire was. It was just kept in his heart. But Mahaprabhu is Supreme Personality of Godhead in everyone's heart. He understood. So no matter how difficult it becomes, we should never commit suicide. Especially after you've taken Diksha, that means now the body belongs to the spiritual master. You're not only committing sin, suicide is a sin, but you're destroying Guru's property. So he told Sanatan, this body, I have a lot of things to do with this body. And he sent him back to Vrindavan. And he told him, I will come again to Vrindavan. You find, first of all, two things. You find out a nice place for me to stay. Of course, we know he never stayed again, but anyway, he told like that. And you find out this deity of Madan Mohan. So when he came back to Vrindavan, he saw this hill, Dwadashaditya Tila. That hill is called Dwadashaditya Tila. After the Kaliya Leela, they took Krishna there because he'd been in the water, cold water for a long time. So Dwadash Aditya. Aditya is another name for sun, and Dwadash means 12. 12 suns appeared on the sky, and on top of that hill, they warmed up Krishna and dried him off. So he saw this nice place overlooking Jamuna. You can see Braj all around, nice beautiful view of Braj. So he began to make a little bhajan kutir there and fix the place up for Mahaprabhu to come. Then, sometimes he would go to Mathura because he had heard just below the old Madan Mohan temple, there's a place called Advaita Vat, where Vat means banyan tree. There Advaita Prabhu had found the Madan Mohan deity underneath the roots of this banyan tree. And since that time, Vrindavan, there was nobody there, not like nowadays, there's everybody's here. This big, we never expected to see, high rise. And even proudly they advertised, first high rise in Vrindavan. We never expected, we don't want to see, we're very sorry to see. But there was nothing here. Oh, that was one other important thing we forgot. When Rupa and Sanatan met Mahaprabhu, they told him that this is not the way to go to Vrindavan with thousands of people following you. Vrindavan is a very sweet, natural place. You should go there with 1 or 2 servants. You don't want to disturb the atmosphere. So Mahaprabhu got as far as Kadai Natchala, then he considered the words of Sanatana Goswami, and he went back to Bengal later, made another trip just with 1 servant. It's a little aside there. So, anyway, since nothing was there in Vrindavan, Advaita took that deity of Madan Mohan, that time his name was called Madan Gopal. And he took him to Mathura. There was one Chobe. Many of the Brahmins of Mathura, they're called Chaturvedi, but in Brijbhasa we say Chobe. We see the big fat guys down at Bisram Ghat, Chobes. He gave in to Purushottam Chobe to take care of. So, Sanatana Goswami, he would go to Mathura trying to find out where is this Purushottam Chobe. One day he was walking down the street doing Madhukari, and he saw this beautiful black cowherd boy. And he chased after him, and that cowherd boy ran into someone's room, ran into someone's house. Sanatana Goswami got there and he saw that Chobe had 3 sons. The 3 sons, they were playing with Madan Mohan like he's one of their brothers, not giving any special respect. And he saw Chobe's wife, it was early in the morning, without taking her bath, she just put some cloth and was cooking, just like we can still remember from our young childhood that we had to go to school early in the morning, so mother just put her bathrobe, make some oatmeal for us and send us to school. So like that. So Nanda Goswami was shocked. He said, what is this? He's not one of your brothers, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You can't play with him like this. You have to give respect. And what are you doing? You hadn't even taken your bath and you're cooking for the Lord like this. What is this? You don't know the rule and regulation of deity worship. So Chobe fell on the feet of Sanatana Goswami. He said, yes, we'll follow all the rule and regulation. Please forgive us. So that night, Sanatana Goswami got a dream. The Madan Mohan came in his dream. He said, I was living very sweetly with my Chobeji family, so nicely, enjoying their company. And now you put all this rule and regulation, there's no fun. So in the morning, Sanatana Goswami came back. He tried to fall on the feet of Chobeji. Chobeji fell on the feet of Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami said, whatever I said yesterday, forget. Whatever service you're doing, Lord is happy the way it is. He said, no, Lord came to me in dream last night. He said, Sanatana Goswami, now he's old. He has no one to take care of him. You have 3 sons to take care of you. I want to go with Sanatana Goswami and serve him. So then he entrusted that deity to Sanatana Goswami. So there was no temple there. Sanatana Goswami just leaned him up against the neem tree and was doing the worship, and whatever he got, means sometimes he got a little wheat flour He mixed it with Jamuna water. He got some cow dung and dried it out. He'd set it on fire. He put the cow dung, he put little balls we call bati, chapati balls. He put them, and then with his neem stick he would turn them around in the cow dung coal, then break off all the black spot, and he'd offer it to Madan Mohan. In one lecture, Prabhupada explains, sometimes a little piece of that lecture they send around Facebook, that Madan Mohan began to complain that, my dear sir, every day you're giving this old dry chapati, you don't even give any salt. And Sanatana Goswami said, I'm old man, whatever I get easily I offer, you please accept. And Prabhupada explained, because devotee is offering with love, then Madan Mohan had to eat this old dry chapati ball with no salt. And we can't imitate the dealings between the pure devotees and the Lord. But Sanatana Goswami says, look, you have to be satisfied with what easily gotten in life. Otherwise you'll never be satisfied. You have to control your senses. We cannot imitate these dealings. You have to control your senses. So Prabhupada explains, because he's offering this old dry chapati ball with no salt, he has to eat. Sanatana Goswami said, look, today you're saying you want salt, tomorrow you'll say, oh, Gosaiji, it gets stuck in my throat, can you put a little ghee? And then you'll want sweet rice. So where am I going to get? If you want, you make your own arrangement. So then there was one fellow named Kapoor who was coming from Punjab. If you meet anybody from named Kapoor, you know he's from Punjab. He was sailing down the Jamuna to go to a big mela in Agra to sell all his wares. And right beneath that Dwadasha Tatila, his boat got stuck on the sand. And he was crying, and there was a little cowherd boy there, and he said, on top of this hill there's a great sadhu. Because in India, people think sadhu means yadu. Yadu means magic. If there's sadhu, he'll do some magic. Sadhu means yadu. So, he went there, he said, oh Gosai, this cowherd boy told you could help me, my boat is stuck, I have to go to Agra. And Sanatana Goswami, who told I can help? He said, this cowherd boy. And he looked, and that cowherd boy had turned into the deity of Madan Mohan. And the Lord said, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I'm just ordinary Jeev. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you ask him. Then he looked at Madan Mohan with great surprise, and suddenly his boat just came off of the sandbar very easily. Just like that, automatically. So then he fell at Sanatana Goswami's feet. What do you want? You want gold? You want silver? You want silks? You want jewels? He said, no, I don't want anything. No, you must take something. What is your cargo? He said, salt. He said, then you break off one block and give me this fellow always complaining. So then he went to Agra. He arrived at the highest point of the mela. He sold all of his salt for the most highest price. He came back. He built a beautiful temple for Madan Mohan and arranged for proper bhog offering every day. And that beautiful Madan Mohan temple that has become the symbol, icon of Vrindavan, this Madan Mohan temple. And he became his disciple, Ramdas Kapoor. And if you know where to look, ordinarily if we build a temple, then we want our picture or our statue in the front that we built such and such temple. If you know where to look behind the temple, there's a drain that comes out of the floor of Madan Mohan temple. And if you look where that goes enters into the drain, if you look down, sometimes it's over-flooded with water you can't see. You'll see Ramdas Kapoor is sitting there, where the water that washes the floor of Madan Mohan temple comes on his head. Like that. He got humility from Sanatana Goswami. But still today they offer these old dry batis. If you go to Sanatana Goswami's Samadhi Mandir and you ask the pujari, he'll give you Mahaprasad. They still offer the old dry bati balls to Madan Mohan and offer them to Sanatana Goswami. You get the Mahaprasad. So of course we know Mahaprabhu never came second time, but this was just the excuse to make this nice place and build this beautiful temple. Later, Sanatana Goswami moved around all over Braj. He stayed in Pavan Sarovar. And we know the story in connection with Rupa Goswami and the sweet rice, that he wanted to offer some nice sweet rice to Sanatana Goswami, but you've seen not Pavan Sarovar, Ter Kadam, there's nothing there, even now. So 500 years ago it must have been even more desolate. But one young golden colored girl came and brought some wonderful sweet rice, told Baba that, look, there was wedding in the village, my mother told me to give it to some Baba doing bhajan in the forest, so you please take this sweet rice. So Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami is very happy. So he went to his brother, Sanatana Goswami, he said Sanatana Goswami looked at the sweet rice, he said, where you got the sweet rice? Oh, this beautiful girl came, she said there was wedding today, and there was some sweet rice left over, so you give it to some Baba in the forest, and I brought it for you. And Sanatana Goswami, he was very dear to all the Brishvasis. He knows everything. He said, there's no wedding today. We know in that song of Srinivasacharya, Dira, Dira, to the gentle and the ruffians. He was very dear to both. So he knows all the news of the village. All the villagers come every day and say, oh, so-and-so got married, so-and-so died, so-and-so built a new house, so-and-so plowed his fields, so-and-so sold all his crops. He knew all the village news. He said, there's no wedding today. What did this girl look like? And she was very golden color, beautiful lotus petal eyes. Then Sanatana Goswami tasted that sweet rice. His whole body began to quiver. Tears came from his eyes. His whole body was shaking, his hair standing on end. Then they both realized, oh, that must be Radharani, our bhajan is ruined. We're praying, Hare Krishna, the Radha Krishna let you serve, we take in service. Together they ate that sweet rice mixed with their tears. Then Sanatana Goswami was staying there in Pavan Sarovar in the cold, in the heat. One cowherd boy came. You see, if you go to the Samadhi, you see the picture of this little cowherd boy is there. He said, Baba, why don't you take some milk? He said, how did you know I was here? He said, all the other cowherd boys, they told me there's some Baba, he's not eating anything, so they told me to take you some milk. So every day he would bring milk, but without any idea that this was Krishna himself. So, anyway, there's so many stories, and the Brishbasis, they built Bhajan Kutir, there's a Bhajan Kutir, Sanatana Goswami there. Sometimes he went to Radhakund, because specifically Rupa Goswami was staying there sometimes, so Sanatana came to see him. He asked him, what poetry are you writing now? He said, Chatu Puspanjali, offering 4 types of flowers. And he read that, and it described Radharani's braid just like a black cobra. He said, how can you describe Srimati's braid like a black cobra? And Rupa Goswami says, I don't know, that's what came in my mind. If you think of something else, you can write. So Sanatana Goswami went wandering around Radhakund and trying to think of a better simile. And he saw some young girls playing under a tree, they were swinging. And suddenly he saw what he thought was a big snake about to bite one of the girls, because she was swinging in the swing. She went up, her braid went up in the air. As you look at the braid from the back, it looks just like the what do you say? Hood of the cobra, and goes down like this. And he ran there, he said, look out, look out. Nobody paid any attention. He ran there, and everyone just began to laugh at him. And then suddenly everyone disappeared. Then Sanatana Goswami just realized that Radharani manifests this lila just to show him that that's the perfect simile. That from the back, Radharani's braid just looks like a black cobra. Eventually he began to stay in Manasi Ganga in Govardhan, right near Chakleshwar Mahadev. And we know that there's heat, just like now there's so much heat, and water. There's heat and water. Who comes? Mosquitoes. So, Sanatana Goswami was trying to do his bhajan, but all these mosquitoes were bothering him. So he decided to leave. So one old Brahmin appeared and said, Baba, where are you going? He said, I can't do my bhajan. These mosquitoes are bothering me too much. I can't do my bhajan. Then that Brahmin revealed himself as none other than Chakleswar Mahadev. He was made his bhajan kutir right in front of Chakleswar Mahadev. And Chakleswar Mahadev was worried that he's going to lose the association of a great Vaishnava. He said, you stay here, don't worry about a thing. I will go to the demigod. There's 33 million demigods. One of them must be in charge of mosquitoes. Machar Dev, Mosquito Dev. I will tell Mosquito Dev, don't let any mosquitoes come here. Even to this day at Sanatana Goswami's Bhajan Kutir in Manasi Ganga, there's no mosquitoes. And every year on this Vyas Purnima, this Guru Purnima day, all the Vaishnavas used to come to Manasi Ganga, and Sanatana Goswami would take everybody on pilgrimage of all the holy places. We know all around Govardhan so many holy places, but just at Manasi Ganga so many holy places are there. So on this day, I can't remember, 470, 80, so many years ago, all the Vaishnavas came to Sanatana Goswami's Bhajan Kutir. They all chanted, Haribo, Haribo, Radhesham, Radhesham. And there was no answer. And they appeared inside the Bhajan Kutir. And we don't even have to imagine, we're experiencing now, the last night we got this terrible news, so we don't have to even imagine how all the sadhus and Brishbasis felt, seeing that Sanatana Goswami has left this world. We're experiencing ourselves. And they all began to cry, just like we were all crying in separation. They brought Sanatana Goswami to the lotus feet of Madan Mohan and made his samadhi there. 4 or 5 years ago, the Russian devotees established a beautiful white marble deity of Sanatana Goswami, so beautiful with beautiful lotus petal eyes. So this is that disappearance day of Srila Sanatana Goswami. Unfortunately, it's also the disappearance day of Srila Bhakti Charu Swami. So it's getting late. We'll put our voice to rest here. Thank you very much. Srila Sanatana Goswami Pada Ki, Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj Ki.